Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to all of you. So before we start, I just want to make sure I just want to tell you that we are going to have only 50 minutes length time of video, because once it's over than 50 minutes there is a problems for me to upload in the YouTube. So kita tengok sampai dekat mana, insyaAllah dekat itulah. So next week kita akan ada another session. Alright, for this week we are going to cover to chapter 5, week 5, which is organization of materials. Okay, week 5 for chapter 3, so don't get confused with that. So organization of materials in library, museum and archive. So we are going to talk about these two things, okay, for this topic, which is OI in library, museum and archive, and also tools that being used for organizing the material in library, museum and archive. So we look at on the library perspective. Before we start, what are library materials? Okay, supposedly you have to know, okay, what kind of materials being included in the library, either in the physical form or in the electronic format. All right, and then how to organize it and what kind of tools that we use to organize the materials in the library. So library materials, also known as a collection of the library. Alright, so the collection in library can be divided into two categories, which is printed and non-printed. So you can just, this is for your refresh back your mind, alright, what kind of collection in the printed and non-printed materials in the library. Okay, never mind, later on you will do this. So how to organize library materials? Normally in library there are a few processes to organize the materials, such as cataloging. Right, cataloging itself involves three things: descriptive cataloging, subject cataloging, and classification. And then there is an indexing and also abstracting. So definition of cataloging: the process of making entries for a catalog, be describing volumes according to very well codified rules. Okay, so this involves the selection and arrangement of items signifying the physical aspect of a book or non-book based on Encyclopedia Britannica. So cataloging is one method of bibliographic control where recorded information being organized or arranged according to established standard, and they are made readily identifiable and retrievable. That is the process. Okay, the first part that we are going to touch about the organization of information. Why we organize information? Because we want to retrieve it back. So cataloging is one of the methods, okay, being used to make sure that we can organize the materials in the library. In other words, okay, cataloging is the process of creating entries for a catalog. Alright, we want to create an entries. Okay, based on what? Okay, how we are going to search that kind of materials after being placed in the library. Definitely, library have a lot of books that should be catalog. Okay. So this is the example. Okay, this is the call number, okay, and then this is one is a title, right? Meaning that if it's come from the variety of language, okay, so you know when it placed here, it means it's a title. All right. So this is the place of publication, authors. Okay. Who determine this? You don't have to ask this. You have to follow. Okay, your part is to follow exactly. All right. The patterns okay, that have been provided. Right, so you don't have to ask why should put author here, why should put title here. No, right, your task is just to follow. All right, and then this is the subtitle. Okay, you must have this kind of punctuation. All right, because this is being stated in the rules. Okay. So the activities or stages involved in cataloging are: create a description of a physical item, okay, and then choose certain name and title. Okay, this is serve as a smart, meaning that we are going to use this as a our benchmark, okay, to find the materials. Do the authoritative work on those names and title, including the surnames, okay, either the the name should be changed or not. Okay, for instance, Malay name, okay, Chinese name, okay, because Malay name and Chinese name supposedly we don't have to change, but for the Chinese name, for example, Tan Siok Peng, so Tan, Siok Peng, because Tan is the surname. All right. And then do the subject analysis. Okay, we have to know this material is found under what subject. Okay, for example, a bus. Okay, if that material is talking about bus, so bus is found under vehicles. So vehicle is the subject for that materials. Alright, so choose the subject heading and classification numbers to represent the subject analysis, and next is create the call number. So coded or record are created with the machine readable cataloging mark format for the purpose of displaying them in the online system. So we use the search by using the OPEC, for example, there is a call number stated there. So that is call number should be determined in the process of cataloging. Okay. So descriptive cataloging is a cataloging process that is concerned with the identification and description of an item. So the recording of this information in the form of cataloging records and the selection and formation of access point with the exemption of the subject access point. So descriptive cataloging describe the physical makeup of an item. Okay, that is which is the book, for instance. So you have to identify the content. Okay, who's the author? This book is what are the subjects for these materials? Okay, I choose a book, for example. Okay, who is the author of the material? How many authors that they have? And then what are the physical description of the material, the length, okay, the weight, how many pages that they have. All right, and then description of the catalog are constructed according to a standard style selected by a particular community. All right, so we choose to have the certain standard. Okay, particular community means that for Malaysia contohnya lah kan, in Malaysian name kita ada kaum yang majority, which is Malay, Chinese, and Indian name. So how we are going to determine this? Because in Malaysia only we know, only kita yang tahu. Okay, we know the father's name, alright, the surname of the certain names. For example, okay, for Chinese name, definitely they put the surname at the front of the names. Right, for Malaysia ni we don't have the surname, so how we are going to determine this, right? So in descriptive cataloging, it involves 3 steps. The first one is physical description. So description of particular items stated with title and end with note. So start from title and with note. So determine the main entry and added entries. For example, if first author, okay, let's say that material have 3 author, so the first author gonna be the main entry. For the second and third author gonna be the added entry. That is how we are going to look at on that. Okay, no problem. It's okay for you to don't understand at this point of view. It's okay. From time to time you have to learn. So next semester you are going to do this kind of descriptive cataloging. Alright. So identify the responsibility for the content of the materials without refer to the subject classification. Okay, so you have to browse through the content. You take note. Alright, what kind of what is all about for that material, so that when we determine the subject itself, okay, we can help user to find that materials within the subject. Alright. In other words, descriptive cataloging is step 1, drafting a set of information that include title, agent responsible, the author, right? You can determine if there is an editor, okay, if there is a board of names, okay, over there, and then the edition, the place and date of publication, the publisher, the physical description, the series statement, and also the standard number. Normally this list, okay, known as a 8 area according to ISBD and referred to AACR 2 second edition lah. Okay, so when we talk about this, okay, it relates to the 8 area of ISBD, okay, and also it can be found in the AACR second edition. Okay, step 2, deciding the access point, which is main entry and added entries. Okay, so the idea is to choose the main responsibility for the item or materials, and the what's left will be noted or credited in the added entry, as I mentioned before. Alright, so first author gonna be the main entry, second and third author gonna be to the added entry. So if you want to find that material by using the second author, also you can find that the same books. Okay, if you search by using the third author, for example, you can still got the same books. Okay, not limited to the first author only. That is how, all right, we put the information in the system. And then step 3, determine the proper form for the name and title selected as a main entry. Okay, for example, the main entry is John Marshall. So the proper form in the main entry should be written as a Marshall John. This is how we are going to look at later on. Okay, how we are going to determine the main entry. Is it we have to change or not? Is it all the possible names will be changed or not? Okay, we're going to look at on after this. So this one you can do by your own. The content of catalogs. Okay, there are elements, 4 parts of catalog records. Okay, cataloging records: headings, descriptions, tracing, and call number. Okay, this one is the basic rules for heading and description in catalog record. Okay, AACR, Anglo American Cataloging Rules, 2nd edition, 2002 revision and 2005 update. So content of the catalog, this is we are placed the call number. All right, this is the main entry. Okay, should be, if there is an author, so should be the first author. Author also can be under organization. Okay, you can look at on the material itself. And this is the description. Alright, including punctuation. Alright, so proper title, okay, and then equal to parallel title, okay, this one semua ikut sebiji. Dia macam tu. Jangan tinggal. Kalau dalam cataloging, kalau you tak buat titik dalam angka ni, kita akan potong setengah markah. Setengah markah. So takut bila potong dia jadi you pula yang berhutang markah dengan I. Dia macam tu. Right? And then note ISBN also tracing. This one is a tracing. If there is a subject, okay, so put the subject, added entry for joint author, which is second, third, and so on, and also editors, right, and title added entry, and also series, TITLE. Kalau dalam katalog, alright, perkataan yang ni TITLE ni kita letak TITLE, kita tak copy balik title yang dekat sini, tak. Itu sini selalu buat sebenarnya. Alright, bila sebut title dia pergi copy balik, tak payah. You just put TITLE so orang tahulah, oh title is represent this. And also series kalau ada. Kalau tak ada tak perlu. Ni kalau ada kat sini maksudnya automatic kena ada dekat sini. Yang ni wajib, TITLE ni wajib sebab kita ada title. Kalau kata tak ada main entry pun, maksudnya tak ada person ataupun organisation yang menjadi main entry, title will be the main entry. Dia macam tu pula. So adalah flow dia. Okay, tak apa. Next semester you are going to do this. Okay, so later on you will understand what I'm talking about. So the content of catalog is heading. The first sequence of character, which is number, name, words or phrase at the beginning of a catalog. Alright, that is the first sequence, number, heading. Heading is also known as a main entry and is part of access point. So types of heading, siapa who gonna be the headings? Could be author, could be corporate names, which is kementerian ke, organisation itself, and also title. Di tiga ni. Kalau tak ada author, might be corporate name. Kalau tak ada juga dua-dua ni, so title will be the main entry. Itu rules. Bila rules maksudnya semua orang kena follow the standard rules. So the content of catalog, okay, for description, for example. Okay, bibliographic description is divided into 8 areas. There are same in the ISBD and ACR. So kalau ada soalan, we talk about 8 areas of ISBD. Is the same with the ACR second edition? The answer is yes. Okay, sama. Alright, the areas in description are: area 1 include title and statement of responsibility. Area 2 is addition. Area 3 is material specific details. Area 4 is publication. Area 5 is physical description. Area 6 is series. Area 7 is note. And area 8 is standard numbers and term of availability. Tolong hafal. Please hafal yang ni, 8 area ni. Alright, hafal dulu. Nanti you tahu kenapa saya suruh hafal. Alright, so the content of catalog, which is tracing, right, is subject analysis or subject of the material. So this is an indication of a main catalog record showing under what are the additional headings and the entries, and the record of all the related reference can be made. So the record of the heading under which an item is represented in a catalog, right? This is one is tracing, so it's fall under subject. Right, and then call number, the left up, betul, atas sebelah kiri lah, okay. Consists of the class number, book or item number, sometimes other data such as dates, volume number, copy number, which provides identification of an individual item and its shelf location. Right? So example of record catalog, this one, ini this is a call number, this is the author, okay, first author, this is the editor, alright. This is the list for catalog records, okay. And then subject cataloging, okay, involve determining what catalog subject concept or concept of covered by the intellectual content of a work. Alright, so once this is being determined, as many subject headings as are appropriate are chosen from a standard list, and final step is usually to choose a classification number from whatever classification scheme is used by the library. So we do have a variety of classification schemes, so it depends on the policy of the library which one you want to use. Okay, so I think we better stop now. Okay, we continue later on. Okay, thank you class.